Alright, today we're going to install a Redirad FM in Scott's, was it 1987?
Yes.
1987 Bimmer. This beautiful car is going to be on a road trip this next weekend, heading down to the Carolinas. And so here we have the factory radio and the dashboard. Everything's proper about this car. Everything is as built, just as BMW intended it. But the one thing it lacks, and so many of them lack of this era, is the auxiliary input jack. So today we're going to put a Redirad FM in this beautiful car and hopefully have Scott have some tunes on his next drive of his choosing. Stand by. Okay, so Scott is going to kind of talk us through what he found as far as the need to pull the radio out to get to the back where the antenna wire goes in. So
you flip these little doors open, which are a little tough. You take a, I don't know what size, millimeter wrench, and you just turn these things until they don't turn anymore.
Is it like an Allen wrench sort of thing?
Yeah, it's an Allen wrench, and you just, once they don't turn anymore, you just kind of pull the radio out.
Okay, wow, that's very simple. Okay, and here we have the gray input cable from the antenna line right there. That's a Motorola connector. Okay, and Redirad comes with Motorola's, so what we're going to do is we're going to get creative with placing the Redirad behind the radio. So we'll be back to carry on with that part next. Stand by. Alright, so what we have done is we have managed to tee the Redirad, which is sitting and going to live inside the glove compartment, between the gray antenna cable, which is difficult to see, and the radio itself, of course. Apologize for the bright sun, but hey, it could be worse, it could be raining. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just carefully slide this in. Okay. Not to go in all the way, but enough that it's kind of like how it'll be eventually.
Right.
Okay, and now why don't you turn the key on just to confirm the antenna is connected correctly. Okay, so we've got radio, local broadcast radio, so it passes through the Redirad when there's no device connected here. So now we're going to proceed with power and ground. Back in a minute. Okay, so we're at the point where we've fished the power lead through the accessory grommet on the passenger side next to the battery, and we're going to dress this up so it doesn't risk chafing or that sort of thing. We find that circuit number 12 is key on hot power, so I've pulled the fuse, and what I'll do in a second is I'll get the fuse adapter, which does not require any modification to this. Let me grab that just 1 second.
I hit pause.
Okay, good. Okay, so with Redirad we give you an array of different fuse adapters, and this is an ATO fuse, and so with that is the ATO fuse adapter. And what this does, it slips on here and gets trapped like that. Automatic 12-volt access point for your Redirad's power lead. Again, we're not cutting any wires. Hallmark of the Redirad is you're not butchering up the car, so this will be that. But the next thing we want to do is we're going to take a meter and we're going to determine which side of the radio circuit fuse is the supply side and which side is the fused side, and we'll put this on the fused side. So I'm going to get my meter and we'll do that next. Okay, so the trusty Fluke Model 12, sadly they no longer make this. If you can find a Fluke 12 in your travels, buy it. It's a great meter. It's got everything you want except the kitchen sink. So the first thing is not to mar the customer's car paint job. So this should be these should be both 0 volts because the key is off. But I'm just going to do this, and it's reading like a 1/2 volt, so that's telling me that there's nothing cooking there. And just for convenience sake, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in. And I think I can probe. Well, that's stupid. No, I can't do that. The problem is trying to get down. Alright, hang on a second. Be right back. Okay, so this is some careful engineering work here. Using a Swiss Army knife, the one socket I can get to very easily with the probe, but the probe tips are blunt. The other one I can't get to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff this in here momentarily. And now that'll be my other point of contact. That's not going to stay there. I'm sure that's obvious. So once again, we're going to go to this side. It's reading low. Go to this side. It's reading 0. So now I'm going to turn the key on hot. Don't worry about this. It's not going to short out anything. Turn the key on. And there's that. Systems are go. Okay, I'm going to go back, test. One side should be 12 volts. That's low. Okay, so that's the fused side. So the side that has the fused side is going to be the inside. This should read 12. And lo and behold, it reads battery voltage. So, okay, so that side is the side you want to put the adapter on. Off. There we go. Cool. So once again, the inboard side is the fused side. So we're going to put the adapter on that and push it in. Now, one astute observation is that there is a cover on here, so I don't have infinite space in the Z direction. So what I'm going to do, so I can pulling this thing through. It got a little bit beat up here. Take my pliers, fix that. There we go. Okay, so that's back on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add this lead to this, so that, because these things are so, these brass adapters are so gentle, so fragile. Okay, so that's on there. Put that there. And once again, we're going to go on the fused side of this whole shebang. So I think I'll probably just do that. Slip this guy on there. Oops. Like so. And boom. We're in. Perfect. So now this is in. This will clear the lid. What we'll do is we'll put a small slot, very small slot, to clear this insulated wire over here, and then that way this won't get cinched by the gasket. Alright, so we've got the Redirad installed. In this case, it is living in the glove compartment, and there's enough clearance to safely close your glove bin. And now Scott is going to connect his, he's got his iPod connected. We've got 91.7 tuned in here. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So the music that you're hearing will go away, and then he'll be transitioning over to 91.1. So why don't you press play. Okay, now go to 91.1.
Satisfied customer.
Alright everybody, hey, thanks for watching this. I just wanted to talk a little bit about fuses and the clips that the Redirad comes with. And in particular, most older cars will have this type of fuse panel. This is a common fuse panel from up into the late 70s. Later they went to the color-coded fuses, which are known as ATC or ATO or ATM. These are AGC, automotive glass. Actually, I think it stands for a company. But anyhow, would like to demonstrate putting this AGC style fuse adapter around the fuse, and in the event that your fuse panel spacing is too tight, using this guy and cutting the end off of here and putting that in in its place, because it's thinner and it's only on one side. So first thing I want to do is comment on fuses. There's a wide section of the fuse, and that it should be facing you. A lot of times people snap fuses in, and like this one for example, just the edge is showing. Take a minute and index the fuses so you can read them, because at night if the thing is blown you'll be happy you did. You can get these at auto parts stores. It's a fuse puller. They're like $1 or $2. I recommend having one with you. So here's what I'm going to do. Put this in, give it a quarter turn. The fuse comes right out. And now, commenting on the fuse adapter, the AGC fuse adapter, put it over one end, and with the blade facing up and the wide part of the fuse, you know, kind of perpendicular to this, put the fuse in the fuse clip, or in the fuse clips, like that, so it's easy to see, and so this is facing up. It takes a little bit of effort and being careful so you don't break the fuse. So I'm going to snap one side in, and of course I have it easy because I'm at a bench, but in your car it's not that bad. A reasonably stout pliers, give this a squeeze, and it's in. And so now that the broad side of the fuse is relatively facing forward, this is as well. You take your Redirad power leads, and the power lead slips on there. You can unwrap this and head over to a suitable ground location, and that's that. Put the fuse clip on the outboard, the fuse adapter I should say, on the outboard fuse clip. You can zoom out a little bit, there you go. Because this is the fused side, this is the supply side. So put the adapter on the outboard portion, even though Redirad has its own internal fuse. Better safe than sorry. So that's that example. I like people to use the radio circuit fuse whenever possible because it's cleaner power. In that case, getting this adapter on this is difficult. I think this is a slightly narrower space and it's just an aggressive spring situation. So instead of worrying about that, use this other clip, this other adapter rather, and what we're going to do is we're going to modify this a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is this little J right here, we're going to cut that off. It goes in the garbage. Hopefully not in your foot. Take this and basically form a bit of a curl like that. Okay. And now, because this is fairly thin metal, take your Redirad power lead and put it on first. There. So now you've got this already ready to roll. Now head over to your fuse panel, and this is the radio circuit. And if you can, I really recommend you guys use the radio circuit fuse because it's cleaner power. You can use some of these other ones, but they can be noisier electrically. And on the AM Redirad, since AM is amplitude modulation and noise is an amplitude function, you're going to be picking up more noise on other fuses possibly. Anyway, so we're going to slip this guy in here, and again, I've got it easy because I'm on a bench, but you're going to take this. Actually, that's a little bit too much curl. And you're going to slip that guy right in there like that. And if you give it a tug, it doesn't come out. It doesn't have to wrap all the way around. You can see maybe that it's only about a quarter of the way around, but there's two spring clips holding it on. It's got good spring force on the fuse and on the adapter. So now you've got that, and again, head over to your nearby ground for the purposes of grounding the Redirad. So that's my recommendation. Thanks for watching, actually. Hey, it's another high-tech, high-dollar video from the Redirad guys. Please like us and share. Thanks for watching. See ya.